up? It's Jeremy back with some little bit of Wilkes Disc Golf. I wanted to do an in the bag just so everybody can see what I'm throwing. It might help you, it might not help you. I tend to have about 400 feet of distance power, which I think that there could be more unlocked, but I am going through a form change, as you will see in other videos or have seen in other videos thus far. So I am working on things to try and get a little better for myself, as well as, you know, so that when you click on these videos, it's worth watching. But let me just go through my bag and start with the putters. Let's see. So what I am putting with right now are the Brodie Smith Brodie Swirl Roaches. I was a long-time Luna putter, but just recently switched to these, so I'm giving these a try, something a little straighter for me, see if I can nail more putts, and it seems to be working so far. My putting has gotten a lot better, but I've also started working on it more. So yeah, Brodie Swirl Roaches. For my throwing putter, I am throwing a 2021, I believe. It's got a ghost stamp on it, so I'm trying to read that. But a Paul McBeth Luna. I love this disc. I love the Lunas. I've just got to where I wanted to make a change just so I could see if I could be more consistent. I may go back to them in the future. But for right now, I am liking the Brodie Roaches for putting right now. So I do have, for my approach disc, I have a couple of zones here. So I've got a Get Freaky, a Crystal Flex zone here. This is I've had this in the bag for quite some time, and this is for my straighter with a little bit of dump at the end shots. And then if I need something with a little more bite to it, I go to my newer 2024 Tour Series Z-Flex Swirl, or not Z-Flex Swirl, but Z-Flex Jawbreaker Adam Hammis zone here that's got a little more bite to it. And if I really need some bite, I got another 2024 Jawbreaker Z-Flex Brodie Smith Zone OS, which this disc is pretty awesome. I don't pull it out much, but when I do, I mean, obviously if any of you throw it or have seen it thrown, it bites a lot and it does not go very far. So if I do need a distance control shot, I'll throw this on some Annie and it'll fight out very quickly and get on over to the basket. I could throw this on Annie and throw it about 200 feet, and that's about my max distance with this. So yeah, loving this. So we'll get into I've got some mid ranges over here on the side. So for my understable mid range, I'm throwing this this Z Meteor. If you haven't noticed, a repetition here, pretty much, well, all I throw is Discraft. That could be changed in the future. I am learning that, you know, maybe there are some holes in the lineup, but I just love the feel of all of their plastic, and I'm a huge Discraft fan, but I open to some suggestions. So maybe if you guys, you know, want to drop a comment on some discs from other companies or other manufacturers you'd like to see me throw. Like I said, I got 400 feet worth of distance, but right now I throw all Discraft. For my understable mid-range, I got the Meteor. For my neutral or straight flying disc with a little bit of dump at the end, I have a 2022 Z-Glow Sparkle Buzz from Ledgestone. I love this disc, the buzz. I mean, it's a buzz. It does exactly what a buzz should do. that's the only mid-ranges that I carry. So I'll get into my fairway drivers here. So we'll go least stable to most stable on my fairway drivers, well, moving up through everything. So I was watching some videos, and I used to throw the Discraft Sting back in the day, but I put it away because I was like, this is very understable. I don't have a use for it. It was hard for me to control. But I saw, Robbie C throwing it, and he said that this disc is a very good disc. So I picked it back up, and I'm finding that if I'm in the woods, I don't have to throw this disc very hard at all to either keep it straight or to throw a line where I need it to just continue moving right. I don't have to overthrow it, so I tend to hit my lines a little better with it. So yeah, the Sting, it's a very, very good disc. The flight numbers are 7.5, -2.1. But as they beat in, I mean, you can throw it on hyzer flip lines and they'll turn over and just continue to hold that all the way. They are touchy on speed though. If you throw it with too much power, it'll burn over real quick, and they're hard to control. So like I said, I put it back in my bag, and I'm loving it because I barely have to throw it to get the turnover flight that I want, where it just drifts to the right. And then I'm a huge Paul Ulibarri fan, and he throws the Mantis. So I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what, let me just get one, test it out, see what I like about it. And I absolutely love the Mantis. This is a disc that I can throw a hyzer flip with it, and it'll just go straight for days and then fade out. Yeah, I can get this disc flying dead straight for over 300 feet before it fades out, and the fade's not very hard on it. It's a very, very controllable disc. I can crank on this as hard as I want, and it won't flip over on me. If anything, it'll just pop up, and I might get a little turn out of it, but then it will fight back. And then I have a 2024 Jawbreaker Z-Flex here, Passion, Paige Pierce Passion. Again, just being a Discraft fan, it's hard to have an all Discraft bag and not have a Passion as an amateur anyways, just because this is another disc that I can throw and it'll just go dead straight for days, or I can throw a touch of hyzer on it and it'll pop up and then it'll fade out at the end. But again, this is a disc that doesn't have dump, so another very controllable disc for me as an amateur. Again, I'm not playing at the pro level. I'm not throwing 550, 600 feet bombs. So I need all of the neutral to understable stuff that I can in my bag to help my game. But yeah, the Paige Pierce Passion, I love that disc. And then I have a Big Z Vulture. It's got a little burst die on it. I've had this disc for a long time. And this is a disc that is surprising to me because this one does tend to be a little more stable, which in my lineup is really good for my game and the way that I play. This is not super overstable, but if I throw it on enough hyzer, it won't pop up at all, which is good for me. It's very controllable. I can throw a lot of pushing hyzers with this, spike hyzers over trees if I have to, because it doesn't necessarily fade a ton. I can throw this and it can get over a tree and it'll just knife down. Again, it all depends on how much angle I put on it. If I throw it flat, I can get more turn out of it, but it does fight out pretty quickly. And then again, going back to being a Ulibarri fan, gotta have the Captain's Raptor in my bag. This is an extremely overstable disc. It is a first run, so it's a 9.3 positive 1.4. But again, this is a disc that typically I will throw on Anheuser. because I know that it'll fight straight and then it comes out again very quickly. So if I have any skip shots around a corner, anything like that, that's when I'm pulling the Captain's Raptor out. This is a newer disc to my bag, but you know, being a Discraft fan, obviously gotta have some Paul McBeth disc. You know, some would argue that he's the GOAT. I personally think that he is, but that's me. This is the Onyx, right? The Paul McBeth Onyx. Again, an overstable fairway driver, but this disc, like I said, it's fairly new to my bag, but I've thrown it enough to where it has beat in very nicely, and this is a disc that has glide for days. I can throw it on a touch of anhyzer, and it'll fight out, but not very quickly, or I can throw it flat, and it will just go straight for days with a significant amount of dump at the end. And I'm loving the Onyx so far for a lot of my overstable stuff that I need to finish hard at the end. I do have a Scorch in my bag. This is a disc that actually my wife bought me, and she signed the underside of it with Love Mom, which every time I pick it up I think of her. But a very neutral flying, I guess it's this is a distance driver. It's an 11 speed. Again, glides for days, goes straight for days, doesn't have a lot of dump at the end. It does finish left at the end with some stability, but it's not a hard dump. So if I'm needing a super straight flying long shot, this is what I'm reaching for. And then again, another kind of utility disc. A lot of people use it as a utility disc, but I tend to reach for my machete a lot. This is a disc playing here in the DFW area. Holes are not necessarily extremely long, but there are some tunnel shots that have, you know, a dog leg left at the end. This is the disc I'm pulling out. I forehand this a lot. This is not a disc that I have to worry about burning over. I can crank on it as hard as I want. And if y'all are not throwing a machete, I would recommend getting one and just using it as a utility disc, because this is for me anyways, get out of jail card. When I'm in jail, I reach for this disc more often than not to help it. I can throw a lot of forehand cut rollers, right? So if I need to get around a corner, if I'm in some trees and or in bushes and all I can do is, you know, overhand something and it's got to go to the right, I'm pulling this out because I know that once I get it down on the ground with a little bit of angle, it's going to continue going to the right for me. Now to, I guess, well, no, here's another 11 speed. This is new to the driver. New to the bag. It's only been in my bag for maybe a couple weeks. I've been wanting to throw it ever since it came out. It's the Paige Pierce ESP Drive. And today, honestly, I played around before this. Today was the first day that I really threw it a lot. And to be honest with you, this is a disc that can be very, very useful to a lot of amateurs out there. If you don't have a lot of arm speed, the Paige Pierce Drive is phenomenal. Today I threw it a number of times on a forehand with just a touch of hyzer, and it popped up for me and went straight forever with, again, not a lot of dump at the end. Birdied a few holes using it with my forehand today. And yeah, so the Paige Pierce Drive, I'm loving this disc right now. Again, going back to, got to have some Paul McBeth disc in the bag, right? So this is my ESP Zeus. Only been playing since, a lot of people started playing during the COVID times. That's when I picked it back up again. I played a little bit back in high school, but was not very good. Was not really on YouTube and all that back in my days of high school in the early 2000s. But during COVID, I saw it on YouTube. Actually, the World Championships with Emerson Keith and all those guys battling it down to the end. And that got my interest peaked again, so that's when I got really hot and heavy back into disc golf. But the Zeus, one of the first discs I picked up right after I started playing again. This one's got a pretty cool swirl die on it with the stamp wiped, but yeah, I don't know what I would do if I lost this disc. This disc has a significant amount of glide. I can throw it on a touch of hyzer, pop it up, and it'll ride to the right because I've had it for a while. It's beaten in very nicely for me. But yeah, this is a disc that I reach for a lot. I trust it because I've had it for so long. This is a disc that I picked up when I was playing up in elevation. It's a Crank SS. I was playing in elevation up in Montana a while back, and went to go play a private course out there. I wish I could remember the guy's name because it is a phenomenal course. It's a pay to play, but it's like $5. He used to be sponsored by Innova, but again, if I could remember his name, I'll post it out there somewhere because he's done an amazing job on his property up there in Montana. But I picked up a Crank SS, and up there, you know, in elevation, things are more stable. But the Crank SS, when I was throwing it up there, it was not a hyzer flip disc at all. It was honestly flying more like my beat-in Zeus, you know, with some finish at the end. And so I was throwing this disc everywhere up there in Montana. But since I've obviously come back here, this is primarily a roller disc for me. That's what I use for my roller disc. It's got a really good edge on it, and it's very easy to lay down. It is a 13 speed, but like I said, I can lay it down very easily, but if you don't have not significant, because I don't have significant power, but if you don't have at least 400 feet of power, this disc might be a little tougher for you to lay over, but once you beat it in, it's pretty easy to lay over, get down on the right angle and everything. So I'm loving that for my roller disc. The Nuke SS. I picked this up. I was watching a Brody video. He was throwing this everywhere. He was throwing a Glow Nuke SS as his roller disc. I don't know if he still does or not. But I picked it up because of that. I picked it up for a roller disc, but this disc is really my bomber. So I can throw this on a lot of hyzer and have it flip up, and it'll ride straight, and then it will actually turn over and then fight back at the end with the -3 turn and then the 3 fade. It still will finish with some stability. So this has turned into more of my bomber disc. If I have to throw over trees or something, or throw up where I have to throw nose up, this is a disc that I will reach for because I know it has some stability, but it'll allow me to throw it up higher since I have to throw it nose up. I haven't quite mastered how to throw up without throwing nose up, so I'm learning that, but like I said, I'm working on stuff. But the ESP Nuke SS, for amateurs especially, you need to be looking for some disc if you don't have some good power to help your game, right? We don't have to throw everything that pros throw. They have a lot more power than we do, so that's why they're able to, you know, throw a force that will go straight for a while and dump. Really, you need to find discs for your game that will allow you to throw those same shots that they're throwing, but it's not going to be the same disc that they're throwing. I hope that makes sense. Then I have a Crank, and this is one that, again, I've had in the bag for a while. This is not as understable as the Crank SS, but this one is beat in pretty significantly, so I can, you know, hyzer flip this. Again, this is a disc that if I have to throw over trees, I'm reaching for this one or my Nuke SS, something that's not gonna get up there and just stall out very quickly, because these discs, this one and the Nuke SS, I can throw, and even though it might be nose up, because like I said, I'm learning how to throw up without throwing nose up, but if I do throw it nose up, these will still kind of pop up just a little bit to allow me to get some carry to some trees. And then, you know, being a Discraft guy, you gotta have you gotta have a nuke in the bag, right? I've got a Big Z nuke. The reason I went with Big Z over Z or any of the other plastics was the Big Z nuke seems to be the least stable out of all of them. Not saying that this is an understable disc by any means, but this disc I can get to pop up, right? It's not gonna get, I'm not gonna get any turn out of it, but I can at least throw a pushing hyzer where it pops up the whole way and then finishes at the end. This is a bomber for me. If I want to get some turn out of it, I can throw it dead flat and get some turn and a lot of distance out of it. But again, this is the disc that majority of the Discraft pros are throwing, right? But it's in a plastic that makes it less stable than what they're throwing. But yeah, so the Discraft Nuke, one of my favorite discs as well. So on my, I just recently switched to this Zuka compact cart, and I am loving it. I've had this cart for maybe, I don't know, a few weeks, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm realizing that I can go around, play a whole round, and not be wore out from carrying my bag. Now, I was carrying a grip bag, still have my grip bag, so I'm sure that I will go back and forth because I don't mind carrying a bag at all. But I'm trying out this cart, and so far I love it. You know, I've got a towel on there. I've got a putter pouch that can hold a significant amount of extra discs. This is where I keep my Zone OS, my zones, my throwing putter, my putting putters. It's got these pouches on the side. And in this one, actually, I got the Atlas Scout, right? Big foundation guy as well, and they were promoting these, so I got one, and I love it. If I'm standing in the fairway waiting for somebody else to throw, you know, I'm checking footage just so I can make sure that I'm utilizing the right disc and I don't overthrow. Got a little Texas Disc Golf waffle towel, which I love. Got, you know, a little sleeve over here for my disc grabber, and I got a little speaker. I don't always listen to music, but you know, I do like turning some tunes on to play, and then obviously I got a seat wherever I'm at on the disc golf course, which is phenomenal for me. But yeah, when I do turn tunes on, you know, I'm out there with my boys, so I'm listening to some Christian music, you know, keeping it positive and giving all of the glory to God while we're out there on the disc golf course. That's important to us. But yeah, so let me pop in the comments and let me know, you know, if you throw any of these similar discs. Let me know some discs that maybe I don't have in my bag that are in the Discraft lineup that you want to see maybe me do a disc review on. Maybe I can swing by, you know, the disc golf store and grab some, or, you know, hopefully potentially in the future we can get some manufacturers sending some stuff out. So not only I can throw some stuff that maybe you guys want to see if you have similar power than I do, but I also have, you know, my two sons that are doing this with me, and you know, my 13-year-old, he's got, you know, roughly 250, 300 feet worth of backhand distance. He's actually gained some distance here in the last probably 6 months that it's just blowing me away, and he's hitting awesome lines out there. I also have, you know, my 8-year-old who is predominantly forehand, but, you know, if you want to see any disc thrown by all three of us, so you can get a wide range of arm speeds, right? And see what these different discs can do for your game or for a loved one's game. But yeah, so that's what is in the bag right now. If anything changes in the future, I'll do something else, or I'll do another in the bag video for you guys. And appreciate you watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Obviously trying to grow this thing, not only for me, but for my boys, really, right? The support goes a long way, and they absolutely love disc golf, and I'm loving the time that we're getting together, you know, doing all of this stuff. So yeah, we'll catch you in a future video. Thanks for watching.